Hey there guys, welcome Art is Therapy crew and my art friends. Today I'm going to be painting the cover of my recently completed sketchbook, my Etchr Lab sketchbook, and I'm also going to be starting a new sketchbook. I'm rounding up the supplies that I'm going to be using to paint the cover of my sketchbook, so here we go. Hi, my name is Vanessa and I make art videos about a little bit of this and that, mainly things that pertain to sketchbooks. If that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing. Grab your favorite drink and we're going to decorate this sketchbook. I'm going to paint it and I kind of have an idea in mind, but I'm just going to go for it. Now back to this drink. This is a poppy and it is low in calories. I'm not much of a soda drinker, but it's supposed to be good as a substitute for a soda lover. I like the taste of it, and yeah, I've been into these lately. They're really good. First we need a prime, so I'm going to take some gesso and I think I'm gonna put like 2 layers on it. This is pretty absorbent material here, so let's go ahead and do that. As I'm working, I'm going to be playing some YouTube from one of my favorite art channels, Sandy Hester, and I've watched this video a few times, but I'm going to watch it again, so here we go. Turns out I only needed 1 coat of gesso.
Yes, I'm trying to get away from added colors. Here is a purple that is squeezed straight out of the tube.
Painting the base with my Liquitex Professional Soft Body acrylics, and these have become my new favorite acrylic paints to use. I actually do the entire painting with these wonderful, majestic acrylic paints. I like how fluid they are and how I can move them around easily on my surface. Alright, so it's the next day and it's after work. I had a little bit of time to work on my sketchbook. I ended up doing a little bit of blending with these orb-like things, circles, and peep my poppy for today. This is my orange poppy. Different day, different poppy. And what I'm going to do on top, the design is going to look something like this. I came up with this design on my lunch really quick. I just thumbnail sketched it, but I'm gonna do something that resembles this, so to be continued. So in this day, it's the weekend, I decided to change things up and work in my living room. I have this portable table that I have set up right by my couch, and I'm painting with my studio partner, my art partner, Quasi. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Are you guys ready to see what I'm gonna add? Look at these sparkly things, little gemstones. I am going for it. The look I'm going for, or I got inspired by, you know how you watch the old Disney animations like Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, and in the opening scene they have these gemstone books, like a fairy tale gemstone book. That's where I got my inspiration and I love it. I've been wanting to do something like this for a very long time, so I'm glad that I ended up doing that with this particular sketchbook. Here is the final reveal. I am quite pleased the way that this came out, and I enjoyed doing this sort of crafty like design on it, and I had so much fun designing it. Now it looks amazing. I don't want it to sit in my bookshelf. I actually want to display it somewhere in my art room. I didn't do anything on the back, but I was thinking of doing something very simple, just writing "Made with Love." Alright you guys, I need to pick another sketchbook These are active sketchbooks here. Active. So I'm still using them, and then these are brand new. I already know which one I'm going to choose. Let's take a look. It's this one. I'm going to be working in the Perfect Sketchbook by Etchr. It's the size A5 landscape, artist grade, 100% cotton watercolor paper, 300 GSM. Let's unwrap this baby and let's get started. I'm gonna do this carefully so I don't scratch the paper or the cover. I think I bought this over 2 years ago. So it's about time I use it. Feels good. I like the color of the cover. This smells nice. I think I'm going to do the same design here, different colors. I might change up a few things, but I like the composition of this and the movement of the lines. So that's what I'm going to do. I wasn't going to do it on the first pages. There is a bit of these glued together, these first 2 pages. So yeah, that is annoying, but I'll figure something else to do there. I mean, I could do it on the next set of pages, but I think this design looks good to begin with. So let's look at the supplies I'm going to use. I am going to use these Unicolor, that's what they're called, I believe. And the lead is 0.5. I have 3 colors. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all 3, but they're available to me. And then I haven't used this Schmincke palette in a while. I think I never even used it. That is shameful. I think I only used it to make this swatch card. So we're gonna change that. We're gonna actually use that today. That's what happens when you buy too many art supplies and you just store them. But I've gotten better at rotating my supplies. I'm on it. I'm gonna use these to start outlining. I think I'm gonna use the purple. So I'm just gonna rework this design a bit. I want the oval shape with the image. I might keep it a butterfly. I might change what's inside there. We'll see. I want it to be here and then have the other elements coming off to this side. So I might move the direction that the line goes, but I'm going to start with this to see how it anchors the composition, and then I'll do the lines afterwards. Alright, so I'm going to start here. I like this shape of the line right here. Oops. I was going to do the line work with this purple, but I'm out of lead and I can't find my refills. So let's go ahead and do a different color. How are you guys doing? How was your week? How is your art journey going? Are you making lots of artwork? Have you had time? I haven't had much time to do artwork. I've been a bit busy. And I just come home really tired. But I think I just need to make more time and just set some more boundaries with work. I like that. I like that flow. I do want to have this design right here, the lines, but I don't want to pencil them in because I might do some other things with a watercolor before I put that there, so I'll go back to that. Now here comes the fun part, adding the paint. For this part, I mixed my Quinn gold hue and yellow ochre, and I dipped into a little bit of the other yellow, which is chrome yellow hue. So far I am loving the paper in the sketchbook. It's kind of in between my previous sketchbook from Etchr Lab and other one that is that premium super expensive paper. Definitely have an urge to do more artwork, so that feels really good to get that spark again. I have my moments where I just don't have as much enthusiasm, and other moments I'm just all about it, but that's normal. I think seeing my students work and them making artwork really helps that. Watching them work and me wanting to do my own projects. Of course, I'm doing artwork, but they're all in class, but they're all my lessons and demonstrating. It's not like my own personal projects. I really like this purple, this violet. It's cobalt violet hue. Again, this is my Schmincke palette, and I actually used that cobalt violet hue. I mixed it with a little bit of this chrome yellow hue to dull it down, and I added a little bit of Prussian blue in there too to get the darker colors. I love playing with color. Well, to it, I'm gonna add some of this yellow and let it blend. Some complementary colors. Do any of you guys have the same palette that I have? I wish I had been working in it sooner, but I've been making a very big effort to rotate my watercolor palettes, and I have neglected this one, but I'm glad that I finally got to it in my rotation, and here we are using it and enjoying it. For this part of the background, I am using Naples yellow, yellow ochre, and a little bit of the galaxy pink with a touch of burnt sienna. I'm keeping the background with some loose brush strokes and just playing with these different brushes. I really like the white space in this, but I ended up filling it in and it came out okay in the end. Now for this part, I am using two colors, Glacier Green and Glacier Turquoise. And going back to that galaxy pink, it is so pretty. It reminds me of a potter's pink. I'm curious to know, have any of you guys been involved in any art challenges at the moment? I know that Inktober is one of those challenges that is pretty popular, and then there's some other ones that other YouTubers have started, but I'm curious to know if you are working on any art challenges and how that's going. Now I'm going in and working, building up my layers, building up the intensity, the value, and just adding the final touches to the details on my butterfly. So I had this idea I saw as I was scrolling through my YouTube the other day, and I didn't watch the video, but I saw the thumbnail and it said starting your own art curriculum, and I thought that was such a brilliant idea. I am an art teacher and I write curriculum for a living, and I do a lot of planning and research and writing for my students. I should really spend some time and do that for myself. I really want to get back into my artwork. I need it. I feel like it's so therapeutic. That's why I made this title of my channel, Art is Therapy, because it is one of my anchors in my life to give me an outlet and a release. As I had stated earlier, I really need to start setting more boundaries for work. I do put a lot of time and effort of going above and beyond in the classroom, but I really need to change that because I feel like mentally I need to do it for myself, because if I don't do it for myself, I'm not going to be the best teacher that I can be. Even though I try my very best, I can't neglect my own personal goals. Speaking of work, here's an intermission. Let's go to my classroom. All right, so a little check on what we're doing in class right now. So Art 1, beginning art, we are on Unit 3, and we are learning how to use the citing method, so citing lines and shapes, and using the citing and grid method. So these are some of the handouts that we have. This is one that I made. I made that one, signature replica. They have to collect signatures from students in the class and they have to replicate it. And then this one and that one I got on Teachers Pay Teachers from Tiffany Fox. She has some great curriculum, so I bought that lesson. Have my learning goal. We are on Unit 2 for Art 2, which is second level drawing class, and we are reviewing value on how to shade, focusing on the blending method or blending technique, and we're making shattered values for our assessment. Have our learning goal there. And Art 3, we are dipping into watercolor. So this is Unit 2, and I'm going over characteristics, learning goal, different techniques. So I have 8 techniques that I show them, and then they need to invent their own. And this was the previous project that they were working on with tempera paint. This was Unit 1 for Art 1, a personalized poster that's all about them. Working on overlapping, learning about craftsmanship, quality work. Art 2, personalized illumination. This is Unit 1. Again, working on craftsmanship, blending analogous colors, and vibrancy of color. This is AP Advanced Placement Art at the top right here. These are some sort of personalized projects. I gave them some themes, like a list of themes like foreshortening, still lives, drawing from observation, and then they had to come up with their own composition or their own idea for those topics. And then this is the Art 3, their broken glass assignment, working with color schemes and learning about color theory. And if you're curious, this is AP's whiteboard. We're focusing on principle of design contrasts, coming up with 2 sketches to experiment with layouts. I have them take notes on choices that they make in art, so their idea, materials, their process, what are they using, what do their images symbolize, even have a pacing guide for the whole year, so I have when things are assigned, when they're due for the semester, and then I'll give them another one second semester. And then if they get done early, we don't stop, we keep going, because they have a portfolio they need to submit in May, and they have to work on an assignment. Everything's posted in Google Classroom. This is my desk area. It's kind of a mess. This is where I stand and do demonstrations. I have my teacher planner here. I have to write everything down and make checklists, or else I'll forget. But I'm very lucky to have 2 screens. These monitors help me out a lot. This is one of our practices that we're doing for Art 3, my painting class. So practice 1 for watercolor. Our learning goal is learn how to paint with watercolor by using various techniques. So just breaking down what the watercolor can do. And then I have 2 screens that project the same thing. This is bigger. The colors are not as clear, but this is smaller and the colors are very clear. But yep. And how can I forget my wall of babies? These are my fur babies, all of them that are living and some of them that are in doggy and kitty heaven. Now back to sketchbook work. I decided to do some more playing, and I'm working on the official first 2 pages in my sketchbook, and I took some of the colors that I really liked as I was doing the opening page, and I'm just kind of playing with value, color, and composition. I think this was my favorite part in this whole painting session, is making these blobs and building up the values to see how far I can make it dark and what that color looks like at different opacity or levels of opacity. Within this spread, I have no planned sketch, no idea. I am just doing these designs whatever I feel like. It's very spontaneous, so no planned composition. On these 2 pages, I ended up being more playful with this design, and I had so much fun doing this, kind of being free and practicing my brush strokes, color, composition, value, all those good things. Just being in my studio and practicing working on something just felt so refreshing and reviving. Another thing that I'm doing is practicing using different types of paintbrushes and making marks and designs with them, along with investigating and exploring color. And how can I forget familiarizing myself with my different paint palettes, watercolor paint palettes. As I had stated in my previous video with my sketchbook tour, I know that I can't be as consistent with YouTube as I would like, but I'm thinking of throwing in some YouTube shorts here and there, kind of giving you guys some content, and I hope that helps out to keep my channel afloat and to kind of give you some insight on what I've been working on the days that I can work on artwork. This is a flower that I'm referencing to do my outline of the magnolia flower in my sketchbook. This is what my station looks like right now. Before I edit, I'm working in my drawing sketchbook. This is a drawing of my dog Zeus. Done this for a couple hours, and now it's time to show the big reveal. Here is the finished look. I had to bring out the painted sketchbook as well, so here it is. I am pleased the way it came out, and I had so much fun working on these spreads and actually getting another YouTube video out. So thank you guys for being so loyal and sticking around to my channel. Thank you so much for staying here and watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful and creative day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.